when I've been around them trying to have a conversation but they can't put their phone down. You know, that to me is an issue. Welcome back to LVH Talks. So today's subject is going to be about technology and whether or not we've gone too far with it. So if you've got any comments or ideas or thoughts about this, please post them below because I want to hear what you have to say. But yeah, it's a big subject and I think there's lots of good arguments for both sides, but I want to know which side do you land on. It's a strange one for me to do, considering the fact that the only reason why I'm able to do this in the first place is because of technology. So I know, I can see the irony there. But I do think it's something that is being questioned a lot now, considering how advanced we've become, how many new things are being introduced all the time. The rate at which we're getting new things out now is insane. And I do think that it's probably a question that crosses most people's minds every now and again, whether for good reasons or bad reasons. I think it's something that we all think about because we're surrounded by it all the time, right? So technology, it can be great for so many different things, can't it? I mean, it can close the gap between you and other people. I mean, YouTube alone allows you to connect with people from all around the world, and for reasons like that, even, you know, especially personal relationships where you're at a long distance from family or friends, it's very good to close that gap and to make you feel that you're not too far away from the people that you care about is amazing, and is probably one of the best things that technology is now used for. And aside from that, you know, the amount of people that have been discovered as a result of the internet, you know, their skills, the things that they're good at, you know, I feel like people are much more easily recognised for their talents than they used to be because they have access to platforms galore where they can just share with the world, you know, what makes them them. And I think for that as well, it's been amazing for people, and I'm sure there's a lot of success stories out there now that proves that point. As well as entertainment, you know, we love technology, we love using it to watch or to listen to the things that we enjoy. It's that form of escapism again. It makes us happy, and it makes us excited, and it takes us away from reality, right? So technology has so many benefits, you know, even this now, you know, working from home, a new way of working, flexible ways of working that make it so we're not running at 100 miles an hour anymore. We're not burning out because we're learning how to use technology as a way to adapt working hours and a way of bringing about more balance to people's lives than what we had before. So there are so many benefits, and the list goes on and on. But what are the downsides, and what are the problems that have arisen as a result of having access to all of these things in our lives now? For me, it's very much, it always comes down to the same thing. And I would say social interaction. I think that that's a big problem now. Now, there is an argument that it actually solves a problem, and I'll come back to that in a little while. But in terms of that being an issue, social interaction and communication, I think there is an argument to be said that we probably use technology too much and probably are involved in it too much, that social interaction and communication suffers as a result. Now, I don't know about you, but I know myself, I'm guilty for this myself, that sometimes when I'm around other people, I might be on my phone, and I might be scrolling through my phone or doing something on my phone. And I know that I've also received that from other people as well, when I've been around them trying to have a conversation, but they can't put their phone down. You know, that to me is an issue. an issue that we're kind of ignoring. We're not really seeing it as a big deal. But to me, I think that's quite a big problem, and I think relationships suffer as a result, and I think that communication suffers as a result as well, because it acts as a bit of a distraction from being present and connecting to those people that you're around at any given point. So that's just one example, but I think aside from that, you may have noticed that anxiety levels have increased. The numbers of people now suffering with anxiety is immense, and particularly social anxiety. And I think something that technology can do is, I think a lot of people now are much more comfortable communicating via text or messaging rather than in person, rather than, being in the reality, being present with another person and having that communication bounce back and forth. I think people are much more comfortable now via text or hiding behind technology, email, that kind of thing. I think that's something that's become more and more common. And again, it's almost as if you then get people who have one persona with technology, which is more likely going to be the real them, and the person that they are when they're around other people and there's people in front of them. And that's because of anxiety. That's because people are almost forgetting how to communicate face to face. And especially, I think as well, in some ways, communication is, I think even, it's almost like English people with the weather. If you're English, you'll know what I mean, and if you know some English people, you'll also know what I mean. English people like to talk about the weather. It's a common conversation, it happens all the time. I almost find now that with technology it's becoming very similar, that even when you're not using technology, you can often be talking about it with other people. So even if you actually put the phone down, or you put your laptop away, or you turn the TV off, you're still talking about something that is somehow connected to technology, whether that be, did you see that film? Did you read that article online? Did you see this new game that's out? And I often find that it's almost taken over conversation, even when it's not physically being used in that moment. So again, communication seems to be where it's directly impacted people. And like I said, there is an argument that it's helped, because for those people who already struggled socially, for those people who already found it difficult to connect with other people face to face, it's given them a different way of connecting. It's given them an opportunity and a chance to meet people online, to connect with people online, and have more deep and meaningful conversations, ones that they may struggle to have in person. And technology, like I said, it's brought people together in many ways. It's helping you meet like-minded people by sharing or joining what you find interesting online. And so it does kind of close that gap. But I do worry now that because most of our interactions are via technology, that at some point, and probably not that far in the future, particularly younger generations who won't have known a world without it, who won't have known a world where it wasn't used as much, or it wasn't as popular, or there wasn't as much to do with it, what is their conversation going to be like? What is their face-to-face social interaction going to be like? Mental health has massively declined in many young people, and again, social media, although it's not the only thing that technology I hear people talk about social media a lot as though it's this evil system, and there are definitely some downsides to it, 100%, but obviously technology is so broad and it's used in so many different ways that I think social media sometimes can be pinpointed and a bit too much. But I am going to bring it up because it's relevant. When we were all in school, we had separation from those that we went to school with. We had time for ourselves and our families. Whereas now, social media has created this environment where if you're bullied, for example, or not well liked, then it's hard for that person, that child, to remove themselves from that situation when all it does is follow them home as a result of technology. So social media is massively declined, and not just because of bullying, online bullying, but also because it causes the comparison trap, what I call the comparison trap, which is where you look at other people and other people's lives, you start comparing it to your own, and because theirs looks better, because of what they're posting, you put yourself down, and it starts to make you feel like you should be doing more, or that you should look like that, or and it messes with confidence, it messes with self-esteem. So there are some definite issues with technology and the way it's impacting particularly younger people, but I think now just collectively across the board there is almost like a collective addiction, that we all have to it, where not many people go a day without using it in some way, particularly now their phones. And so do we need to slow it down? Can we slow it down? Do we need to be more conscious of how we're using it and how it's impacting us? Do we need to take this conversation more seriously? Because what are the consequences if we don't? And, is it good enough to just focus on the good sides of technology? Don't we need to take it all as a whole and try and improve the ways in which technology almost lets us down and hurts us? It's an interesting topic, but what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.